Chase, thanks for taking a couple minutes, man, and you ready to rumble here in this 2022 season?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's definitely quickly approaching, so you better be ready if you're not. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Excited to get down there and see what we can do and start off a new season.
Well, you had a nice rookie season. Do you feel like you learned a lot, coming off obviously a lot of success on the other series as well? But how much did you learn a year ago as a full-time driver in the Cup Series?
Yeah, I feel like I learned a ton. Just running the longer races, running against guys that I've looked up to a lot of my life, and guys that just have a ton of experience. So getting to race around them, I felt like was huge. From a driving standpoint, everything I felt like I learned last year will kind of be irrelevant this year. We got a new car and totally different than anything NASCAR's ever had. So from the driving standpoint, we'll have a lot to learn again this year. But I think just getting that experience of racing around a lot of those guys, seeing how they race, seeing in certain situations what they do, I feel like I learned a lot. So hopefully can use that to our advantage this year.
Chase, in the NFL, it's always cliche when people say you learn your most from a rookie going into your second year. Is it the same for driving as well? Like, will you probably, in terms of like the progress that you make, will it be the biggest jump that you make from your rookie year?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I felt like if you just took from week 1 last year to say week 17, I feel like a totally different driver. I felt like week in and week out, I just continued to get better and learn more things. And, it's crazy when you get to the Cup level. I'm sure it was the same for the NFL. You think the guys in college are good when you step up from high school, and then you get to the NFL, and everybody there has been a winner their entire career, at the top of their game. And you quickly learn that there's a lot of really good football players. And same for racing, I feel like. When you get to that Cup Series, just everybody there is so good. Even the guys running the last 10 positions on the racetrack are extremely good race car drivers, and it's a lot of work just to gain 5 spots. So, yeah, for sure, I feel like I learned a ton over the off season, even just going back and trying to watch video, learn as much as I could, and then now this year I feel like I've been the best in my entire career. I still have a long, long way to go, but just getting that experience last year and racing into the guys of the caliber that we did was a huge gain, I think, for me. So I'm excited to see where we stack up this year, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Chase Briscoe with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Inside 2 weeks until the Daytona 500 down in Daytona, of course. Last week, you guys were out at the LA Coliseum. You have a new car this season. You already mentioned it. Tell us a little bit about, I know you didn't finish, so I won't bring up too much of that, but tell us about the scene there in the Coliseum and also your first impressions of the new car.
Yeah, the atmosphere at the Coliseum was unbelievable. It was super cool, something totally different for NASCAR from a sense of, the production side, I guess, having a halftime show, we have pre-race concerts and stuff like that, but the amount of people that were there, the red carpet, all the celebrities, it was really neat, and there was 50-something thousand people there that were going nuts. So it was a really cool event just to be a part of. And the results, obviously, not what we wanted. We had a mechanical failure, but I think we broke running 3rd or 4th. So we had a really good day going until the end, and unfortunate, but with this new car, there's definitely going to be a lot of kinks to kind of work out. That's kind of the unique thing now with this new car versus the past is for this new car, everybody buys the same parts. So every car on the racetrack is essentially the same. So, in the past, the teams can kind of manufacture their own parts and pieces and kind of validate them a little bit more, where there's going to be times where I think early in the season especially, there's going to be mechanical things that happen just because, we haven't really tested these cars and ran them in these race situations before. So it'll take some time to kind of figure these things out. But, yeah, the new car was a lot of fun. The quarter-mile racetrack, we could beat and bang around quite a bit. Daytona is kind of the complete opposite of that, but excited to get down there and kind of see what this new car does.
Chase Briscoe with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Do you get down to Daytona and do you have familiar spots? Have you been down there enough to always say, hey, I'm going down, I'm hitting this spot to eat, or is every year different?
Yeah, I've been down there a couple years now, and it seems like that area just keeps, growing up more and more and more every time we go there. It's crazy the amount of stuff they've been building lately, but yeah, I'm pretty simple. My go-to spot in Daytona is the P.F. Chang's across the street. I think it's the best P.F. Chang's in the country. So I go there quite a bit every time we're down there. But, yeah, it's definitely always nice to go down to Daytona. And, especially the beginning of the season, the weather's typically pretty warm. But it doesn't look the greatest for next week. But, yeah, we'll go down there and it's my wife's birthday week every year. We're down there, so try to do something special for that. And Valentine's Day, so we always try to find somewhere nice to go and kind of give her a night to herself finally.
My goodness, you think racing around Daytona is hard enough? You got your wife's birthday and Valentine's Day in 1 week. Holy cats, man.
I know, it's rough, and you're trying to balance the work stuff. Last year, her birthday was on actual Daytona 500 day, and then this year we run the duels on her birthday. So seems like every year I'm racing on her birthday, which isn't always the best situation.
Do you get a sense of what the fans might expect or see? Or will even a casual fan, will something jump out with the new car in terms of the style of racing we'll see in the Daytona 500?
Yeah, I think the style, at least at Daytona, will be, fairly similar to what we've kind of seen in the past. The big pack, you're going to have the big crashes and things like that. But, if you're at the racetrack, especially, I think the first thing you're going to notice is the sound of the cars are quite a bit different. They're honestly even louder, I feel like, than what we previously had. Just a little bit more of a throatier, deeper sound. So you're definitely going to notice the sound if you're at the racetrack. And then the looks, visually these cars look a lot more like a production car, like you would drive on the road. So it's definitely going to be some differences with this car from a visual standpoint. But the mechanical side, like I said, is totally different. I mean, nothing is the same off the old cars. So there's a lot to get used to and a lot of things to learn. So it'll be interesting to see what teams and what drivers can kind of figure it out the quickest.
Chase Briscoe with us as we're wrapping up. You're in the car wash now, right, to start the year. You're doing all these interviews. How old do these interviews get? You can be honest with us. It's okay. What's the most asked question you get? And you're like, by the 500th time, you're like, really?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think everybody at the beginning of the season always asks kind of what's your expectations for the year and things like that. So I would say that's probably the most asked one for the Daytona 500 Media Day, just because we are always starting the season. So I think everybody's curious, what are your expectations going into the season? But yeah, I enjoy the interview stuff. It's a lot better than nobody wanting to talk to you. That's the way I look at it.
It's a good way to look at it. And, hey, I'm going to be the guy that gets you out on time. They said you got another one to run to around 3:29, so we're going to make that happen. Chase Briscoe, good luck in 2022, man. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. That is Chase Briscoe.